morning to everyone. Excellences, Mesdames et Messieurs, je vous souhaite la bienvenue dans la salle d'audience 1 de la Cour pénale internationale. Nous sommes réunis aujourd'hui pour accueillir 6 juges nouvellement élus, mais également pour dire au revoir aux 6 juges dont le mandat prendra fin demain. La cérémonie soulignant l'arrivée et le départ des juges est un moment important dans la vie de toute institution judiciaire. Le renouveau permet à l'institution de garantir sa continuité. La cérémonie d'aujourd'hui se tient dans la salle d'audience principale de la Cour pénale internationale, car le statut de Rome exige que les juges prêtent serment en séance publique. Nous sommes très heureux de tenir cette cérémonie pour la première fois dans nos locaux permanents. Nous sommes également heureux de compter sur la présence de Madame le procureur, Monsieur le procureur adjoint et Monsieur le greffier en tant que représentants des autres organes. Votre présence aujourd'hui nous rappelle que nous ne formons qu'une seule cour attachée aux mêmes valeurs et aux mêmes aspirations. Nous pouvons également compter sur la présence du président et des vice-présidents de l'association du barreau près la Cour pénale internationale qui assistent à la cérémonie d'aujourd'hui en tant que représentants des conseils de la défense et des victimes. La Cour est confiante que la création récente de la ABCPI renforcera le dialogue entre le Conseil et la Cour. Les juges de la Cour sont élus par les États parties au statut de Rome. Au nom des États parties, le président de l'Assemblée, M. O-Gon Kwon, participe également à la cérémonie d'aujourd'hui pour constater les prestations de serment telles que l'exige notre règlement des procédures et des preuves. Je souligne également la présence du vice-président de l'Assemblée, son Excellence l'ambassadeur Momar Diop. Je voudrais saisir cette occasion pour les féliciter pour leur récente élection. L'Assemblée et la Cour bénéficieront grandement de leur vaste expérience dans le domaine de la justice internationale. Avant de procéder à la sermentation de nos nouveaux collègues, je voudrais tout d'abord inviter Monsieur le Président Kwon à prendre la parole. Président Kwon, s'il vous plaît.
President of the Court, honorable judges, Madam Prosecutor, Mr. Deputy Prosecutor, Mr. Registrar, Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, I am honored to be here today representing the Assembly of States Parties to witness, together with you, the departure of a number of judges and the solemn undertaking of the oath of office of 6 new judges who were elected by the Assembly at its recent 16th session. In 1998, states parties established the International Criminal Court through the adoption of Rome Statute, reflecting a determination to put an end to impunity for the most serious crimes of concern to the international community. 2018 is a significant year for the Court. In July, we will mark the 20th anniversary of the adoption of Rome Statute. Much has been achieved since that momentous occasion, but there are many challenges on the road ahead. The International Criminal Court has become, with the crucial support of states parties and civil society, a fully fledged and leading international institution in the fight against impunity. 20 years later, the Court is an integral part of the international system, and its work contributes to the rule of law, the promotion of human rights, and to a more peaceful and secure world. Today, the Court stands as a permanent beacon of light and a symbol of hope for the victims of such horrific crimes. Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, I report here that at its 16th session, the Assembly elected 6 new judges of the International Criminal Court in accordance with the relevant provisions of Rome Statute. The following persons were elected as judges of the International Criminal Court: Ms. Luz del Carmen Ibañez Carranza of Peru, Ms. Solomy Balungi Bossa of Uganda, Ms. Tomoko Akane of Japan, Ms. Reine Alapini-Gansou of Benin, Ms. Kimberly Prost of Canada, and Mr. Rosario Salvatore Aitala of Italy. A judge sitting in an international court bears a heavy burden. Delivering international justice is no easy task. The victims of the most serious international crimes look to these judges to administer justice in situations that have deeply affected their lives and their communities. The accused deserve to have trials conducted in a fair, effective, and impartial manner. The credibility and legitimacy of the court will, to a great extent, be reflected in your ability to be fair and impartial judges and your judgment. The Assembly of States Parties has entrusted you, the judges of the International Criminal Court, with this grave responsibility. On behalf of the Assembly of States Parties, I welcome you to the bench of the court. Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, I also wish to use this occasion to reassure the court as a whole that it can count on the continued support of the states parties as we remain united and steadfast in our common struggle in the fight against impunity. It is our collective responsibility to ensure that the court discharges its important role, to ensure that the Rome Statute system functions to hold perpetrators of the most serious crimes accountable, and to deliver justice to the victims. The court's institutional reputation and its place in the international system are contingent upon our ability to support it to deliver justice with all guarantees of a fair trial in accordance with the Rome Statute. Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, finally, I would like to take this opportunity to pay tribute and express my deepest gratitude to the President of the Court and the judges who conclude their terms in office for their dedicated service to the Court and to the field of international criminal justice. President Silvia Fernandez de Guzmandi, as the first woman to preside over the International Criminal Court, you have exercised insightful leadership over the last 3 years while also serving on the appeals chamber. You participated in trial proceedings, and as a pretrial judge, you also played a significant role at the pretrial division, both in your capacity as president of the division and as presiding judge in a number of pretrial proceedings, as well as representative of the division at the Advisory Committee on Legal Texts. Judge Joyce R. Lodge, your judicial work at the pretrial and trial levels has embraced a number of leading assignments, including participation in the Bemba case and presiding over trial proceedings, including most recently over the reparations phase following Mr. Bemba's conviction. Your commitment to the court has taken other distinguished forms, including serving as first vice president of the court, president of the trial division, and chairperson of the advisory committee on legal texts. Judge Kuniko Ozaki, who unfortunately could not be here today, has made important contribution to the work of the trial division, notably as president of the division, presiding judge over trial proceedings, and as a member of trial chamber in the Bemba case and currently ongoing Ntaganda trial. She has furthered her commitment to the institution by serving as second vice president of the court. Judge Sanji Monoghan, you have discharged your judicial duties with great commitment, in pretrial and appeals proceedings. You have served the court as first vice president of the court and as president of the appeals division. As the first chair of the working group on lessons learned, you led efforts in enhancing the court's proceedings. Judge Christine van den Wijngaard, your judicial service has embraced 3 divisions of the judiciary where you have made lasting contributions as trial judge in the Katanga and Unjiolok Chui case, as well as in a number of trial and pretrial proceedings. The court has greatly benefited from your leadership as president of the appeals division, as well as from your involvement in the advisory committee on legal texts. Judge Kuno Tafusa, since 2015, you have been presiding over the trial in the Gabo and Ble Gude case. During your mandate, you have made distinguished contributions to the work of the court at the pretrial stage, having served as judge and presiding judge in several pretrial proceedings, as well as in your role as president of pretrial division. Beyond your judicial work, you served the institution for a term of 3 years as second vice president. Now, I wish to acknowledge your important contribution as members of the bench of the International Criminal Court, a job which you have all discharged in a distinguished and honorable manner. I thank you all for your attention.
Thank you very much, Excellency. In accordance with Article 45 of the Rome Statute, before taking up their respective duties, the judges shall each make a solemn undertaking in open court to exercise their respective functions impartially and conscientiously. The solemn undertaking which all ICC judges make embodies both individual and collective responsibilities. Making the solemn undertaking in the courtroom bears a symbolic dimension. It serves as a reminder of the public nature of the work of judges. Indeed, it is in this very place that judges carry out their functions under public scrutiny and come face to face with those who take part in proceedings. We will now proceed with the solemn undertaking. I invite the President of the Assembly of State Parties to come forward to witness the undertakings. And I invite the registrar to also come forward to assist in administering the signing of the oaths of office. And now I call Judge Luz del Carmen Ibañez Carranza.
Ms. Ibañez Carranza, you have been elected Judge of the International Criminal Court by the Assembly of States Parties. I ask you to raise your right hand and in accordance with Rule 5.1a of the Rules of Procedure and Evidence, pledge your solemn undertaking.
I, Luz del Carmen Ibañez Carranza from Peru, solemnly undertake that I will perform my duties and exercise my powers as a judge of the International Criminal Court honourably, faithfully, impartially, and conscientiously, and that I will respect the confidentiality of the investigations and prosecutions and the secrecy of the deliberations.
If you could sign here, please. Congratulations. Yeah, congratulations.
I now call Judge Solomy Balungi Bossa.
Ms. Bossa, you have been elected Judge of the International Criminal Court by the Assembly of States Parties. I ask you to raise your right hand and in accordance with Rule 51A of the Rules of Procedure and Evidence, pledge your solemn undertaking.
I, Solomy Balungi Bossa from Uganda, solemnly undertake that I will perform my duties and exercise my powers as a judge of the International Criminal Court honourably, faithfully, impartially, and conscientiously, and that I will respect the confidentiality of the investigations and prosecutions and the secrecy of the deliberations.
Thank you. If you could sign here, please.
I now call Judge Tomoko Akane.
Ms. Akane, you have been elected Judge of the International Criminal Court by the Assembly of States Parties. I ask you to raise your right hand and, in accordance with Rule 51A of the Rules of Procedure and Evidence, pledge your solemn undertaking.
I, Tomoko Akane, from Japan, solemnly undertake that I will perform my duties and exercise my powers as a judge of the International Criminal Court honourably, faithfully, impartially, and conscientiously, and that I will respect the confidentiality of the investigations and prosecutions and secrecy of the deliberations.
Thank you. If you could sign here, please.
J'appelle maintenant Madame la juge Reine Alapini-Gansou.
Ms. Alapini-Gansou, you have been elected Judge of the International Criminal Court by the Assembly of the States Parties. I ask you to raise your right hand and, in accordance with Rule 51A of the Rules of Procedure and Evidence, pledge your solemn undertaking.
Moi, Reine Alapini-Gansou, de la République du Bénin, je déclare solennellement que je remplirai mes devoirs et exercerai mes attributions de juge de la Cour pénale internationale en tout honneur et dévouement, en toute impartialité et en toute conscience, et que je respecterai le caractère confidentiel des enquêtes et des poursuites et le secret des délibérations.
I now call Judge Kimberly Prost.
Ms. Prost, you have been elected Judge of the International Criminal Court by the Assembly of States Parties. I ask you to raise your right hand in accordance with Rule 51A of the Rules of Procedure and Evidence, pledge your solemn undertaking.
I, Kimberly Prost, solemnly undertake that I will perform my duties and exercise my powers as a judge of the International Criminal Court, honourably, faithfully, impartially, and conscientiously, et que je respecterai le caractère confidentiel des enquêtes et des poursuites et le secret des deliberations.
And I now call Judge Rosario Salvatore Aitala.
Mr. Aitala, you have been elected Judge of the International Criminal Court by the Assembly of States Parties. I ask you to raise your right hand and in accordance with Rule 51A of the Rules of Procedure and Evidence, pledge your solemn undertaking.
I, Rosario Salvatore Aitala from Italia, solemnly undertake that I will perform my duties and exercise my powers as a judge of the International Criminal Court honourably, faithfully, impartially, and conscientiously, and that I will respect the confidentiality of the investigations and prosecutions and the secrecy of the deliberations.
If you could sign here. Congratulations. Okay.
Now, the solemn undertakings of 6 judges of the International Criminal Court have hereby been concluded in accordance with Article 45 of the statute. Their term of 9 years will begin on 11th of March. As recognized by the statute, it is important that the judges of the court represent the main legal systems of the world and that equitable geographical representation and a fair representation of female and male judges is ensured. We are pleased that the new judges, who include 5 women, reflect this diversity of the states parties to the Rome Statute, as well as the high standards of integrity and qualifications expected from the judiciary. Our 6 new colleagues joined the court at a very challenging time. The last 3 years have been extremely busy. Since 2015, 5 trials have opened, 3 of which are still ongoing. A number of provisions of the Rome Statute have also been tested for the first time. The court held its first trial in relation to offenses against the administration of justice, as well as its first trial following an admission of guilt. Convictions were followed by reparations proceedings in several cases, putting to test an innovative aspect of the court's mandate. The first sentences handed down by the court have also been enforced. In some, the court has become a fully fledged judicial institution. In this context of increased judicial activity, judges have played a leading role in efforts to enhance the efficiency and effectiveness of proceedings and the quality of justice that is delivered. The reforms we have put in place are already having a visible impact in our courtrooms. I am confident that such efforts will continue and be enriched by the new ideas and experience of our new colleagues that join the court today. Enhancing the performance of the court is essential to its credibility and legitimacy, and ultimately to enhance support for the institution. Indeed, cooperation is closely linked to the performance of the court. Looking forward, I strongly hope that the more cohesive judicial culture we have sought to develop will be further strengthened. Ladies and gentlemen, this brings us to the end of today's ceremony. I would like to wish the new judges every success in the challenging role they are taking on. I would like to thank their families and friends for being present today to share this moment. And I would like to thank everyone else who has been present today to witness this important event in the life of our institution. Finally, on a more personal note, I would like to extend my appreciation to my fellow judges and all those with whom I had the chance to interact over the last years at the court and beyond this court. It has been a great privilege and pleasure, indeed a unique life experience, to act as a judge and president of this institution. I now invite you to join us for a reception in the lobby. The session is hereby concluded.
All rise, veuillez vous lever.